What's up, guys? Welcome to another Cinehorde review. I am the illustrious Captain Gimpy. No, I'm not illustrious at all. I'm a bearded dude with apparently really bad lighting. Today, I'm here to talk to you guys about the movie Harriet. As many of us know, Harriet Tubman was one of the people chiefly responsible for freeing dozens of slaves on the Underground Railroad. According to the film, she rescued over 70 slaves personally herself, not only as part of the network, but she would travel back and forth behind enemy lines to do so. And this movie is one of those movies I think you should see regardless of if you think it's interesting, because this highlights the reason why movies are so important. Because personally, when we learned about this stuff, people my age, we learned about it as just another thing in history books. We didn't really learn about it in a way that was emotionally impactful or memorable. We learned that it was important for tests, and that was pretty much it. And I just kind of kept it in the back of my mind. This movie allows you a window into the experience of Harriet Tubman and the people around her. And that's why I think the power of cinema is the power of cinema, because it allows empathy to happen rather than being like, oh, I'm distant from this experience, or that was a cool experience. Um, this is what makes cinema more than just commercialized entertainment. It can make it an art form. Um, I just have to say, this film deserves an Academy Award right off the bat. For those of you who've been reading or watching my reviews for quite a while, you know that I've often highlighted somewhat negatively British actors or actresses rather, who try to do American accents. One that comes to mind is often Claire Foy. Cynthia Erivo is a UK native, and she does the Southern accent amazingly well. And I was surprised. I mean, really surprised, because that type of Southern accent is kind of difficult to do. Even for native English speakers who haven't been down in the South that much. My mom can do it, but I'm not so great at it. There are a couple of other characters aside from Harriet Tubman herself that I want to highlight. One is a character by the name of Bigger Long. He is a slave hunter. He's a black slave hunter, and he reminds me of a really super cold-hearted mercenary. And we got to remember that that stuff would actually happen. I mean, man, I don't know what to say. To see that happen in front of my face, whether it's a movie or not, um, it does something to you, and that says something about the film. Right? Because on the one hand, they could have completely dramatized the entire thing, made it over the top, made it feel unrealistic, and it wouldn't have connected with audiences. But I think this movie does a wonderful job of letting the audience live a piece of that experience, because every single slave owner that you're supposed to be disgusted by, you are disgusted by, but simultaneously, you begin to understand the point of view that degraded the South as the Civil War raged on and as the abolitionist movement gained momentum. You begin to see the divide that led to the Civil War, not just from reading historical facts, but from some of the arguments that these people tell themselves that they're using to justify owning other people. And as Harriet says in the movie, God never meant for anyone to own another human being. And that's the truth. And that's what this movie is trying to teach us. And just like watching movies about World War II and the Holocaust, right? This is one of those things that reminds you that the price of freedom is never free. It comes at the cost of being vigilant and being aware of the patterns that cause people to lose their freedom. And for that reason alone, I think it's worth seeing. Also, Janelle Monáe is in this movie. She has a relatively minor role, but I think it's a strong role. And if she can keep that up, I'll be happy to see her in a bunch of other films. Um, Unfortunately, like I said in my written review, I don't know if this is going to get an Academy Award, even though I wholeheartedly believe that it deserves one, just because of when it was released and the fact that the Academy is sometimes short sighted and likes to maintain somewhat of a status quo unless it is convenient for them not to do so. I really, really hope that I see this at the Oscars. I really, really do. And if we have anything to say about it, I would say vote for this thing to get an Academy Award. Everyone who worked on this film deserves one, from props to, well, maybe not the editor. Okay, so I do have one gripe. You know, in movies like The Road or like some dreary post-apocalyptic dystopian film, kind of like Hunger Games, they use that pale blue tint to add dramatic effect to emotionally weighty, dreary scenes. About half the film, when you look at it on the whole, takes that approach to the point where it starts to lose its effect. And so I wish whoever color graded and edited the film, whoever oversaw that process, would have considered going a different direction, or maybe cutting together the flashbacks so that they weren't so densely packed, or something to spread it out so that it maintained its dramatic effect and served the story rather than kind of numbing the audience to it. That being said, though, it's an excellent film, and again, I highly recommend it. Alright, guys, see you at the movies.